everyone! So we're here today to talk about a new recipe that we want to share with you. It's known in France as
le Poulet du Dimanche.
Sunday chickens. There's different variations you can do, but the traditional one...
Well, traditional one is like a roasted chicken in the oven, usually made with fries, or at least this is how I grew up. You know, my mom was preparing that most of the weekends, most of the Sundays in fact, and having all my brothers around the table, and I grew up like this, so it was fun. And today we want to actually propose a little twist, because how about putting a little Texan twist to it?
Because where did you grow up?
I grew up in France, obviously, in the Loire Valley, between Tours and Orléans, in a little town called Mer. Very quaint, I would say.
It's close to all of the castles that are so well known in France,
such as Chambord, which is a big castle, in fact, the biggest along the river, and this is where I propose to you.
Yes, it is. And the reason we're talking about mixing a French with a Texas twist is I was born and raised in Texas.
That's right.
Yep,
before,
that's okay. Before I met my handsome, wonderful husband from France. And we noticed that as we cook together, we tend to lean toward traditional dishes, and then we add that spice and that flair. And I don't know if in the beginning you were a fan of this spice?
No, I was not a fan. I mean, I could handle a little bit of it, but I guess the French cooking is absolutely not in the spicy side. I mean, it has spices,
flavorful for sure. Yeah.
But not the hot spices that you guys have here,
right?
Which open up a whole new world of possibilities and bringing some kick. And like I said, now I like when my food is biting back. So
that's right.
And it's kind of addictive actually. So that's was the beginning of it.
Yeah, and so we talk all the time about how can we share this kind of fusion of France plus Texas cooking or Southern cooking, where we add a little bit of garlic and jalapeno and cilantro and even kind of that Mexican influence here in Dallas. So
for this recipe today, the main chicken will be more done in a French way, traditional way, with tarragon, which is going to be pretty good. We're going to smother and bother that chicken with this tarragon and butter.
And some cognac.
And some cognac as well.
Gives it a nice kick. And we're gonna pair it with some carrots, right?
Exactly. So on the side, we're gonna have two sides. One, we like to have a vegetable and more starchy side. So on the starchy side of the equation, we will have a mashed potato homemade one.
And what would you call that in France?
Une purée maison.
Purée maison.
Right. Okay. Purée. We don't have to say of potato. Purée. The purée maison is fine.
So
and
maison means homemade.
Homemade.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. Where we're gonna add a little twist of it. We're gonna bring jalapeños and probably some crème fraîche as well. Absolutely. So something on the creamy side, going very well with the potato, but bringing a little kick of it on it, which is good. And then we'll do as well roasted carrots in the oven. But we are going to sprinkle goat cheese, chèvre in French, and some pecans that we will do what with it?
We're going to dust them in cayenne pepper, to give them, again, a little bit of that spice and kick that we love here in Texas.
Yeah, and pecans are not the favorite nuts that we are doing usually in France. We are going after more walnuts that are more common. I mean, pecan pie is something that I discovered truly here in the South.
I think the pecan is the nut of Texas,
right?
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting twist as well. It's going to bring a little bit of sweetness and a bit of like
savory, spicy,
and also crunch. So chicken, carrots, and potatoes. That's going to be the program for today.
Yeah. All right, so let's get started.
Let's get started.
So here we are in our kitchen. We went shopping. We got all the ingredients that we talked about with you guys. So first of all, we have our chicken here. This is a 4-pound chicken. And to prepare it and make sure it's dry enough for this recipe, you want to sprinkle it with some coarse salt inside and out, and then put it back in your fridge. Don't cover it for about an hour, and that will bring some of that moisture out. And then of course we'll pat it dry before we follow through with the recipe. So you see we have the chicken, we have our fresh tarragon here for this recipe, the cognac, which gives it that extra touch, and of course some butter, and we'll show you how we mix that together and coat the bird with it. We talked about the potatoes and said we were gonna,
we're gonna change a little bit the recipe. We're actually going to do some fries, homemade fries.
And the reason we decided to make this change, because we talked about it a little bit more. I asked Fabien, like, what does your family typically serve with this Sunday chicken?
Yeah, and of course we are serving fries. We call them frites, Pomme frites or frites, and we are going to use some hot jalapeños.
So we said we were going to give it a Texas twist or a kick, right? And there's a restaurant, it's one of my favorites, it's a barbecue place, and they serve French fries with a topping of sauteed onion slices and jalapeno slices. You can serve them plain the way that you would normally serve them in France, if that's what you choose. Or you can add this Texas kick, which we really love, and I even like to dip those in ranch dressing.
That's the way to go. On top of that, we'll get and cook our beautiful carrots right here, and we are going to do a recipe that I love. It's not necessarily super French. I mean, carrots, of course, we are using it a lot, but we are going to sprinkle some goat cheese that you see here, and also using some pecans, so our Texan nuts right there, with some cayenne peppers and some honey. And we'll use as well some brown sugar for the recipe as well.
And that's all roasted in the oven.
Exactly.
And it comes out really, really amazing. The carrots are tender. It's got this little spice with the cayenne pepper and of course the cheese. And
and adds as well some nice color to the plate with the fries. It's like the yellow one, the golden, and the beautiful chicken as well.
That's so true.
Sounds good.
Shall we get started with the chicken?
Absolutely, let's get started.
Let's go. So for the chicken, we'll preheat the oven to 400 degrees.
All right, now it's time to add our 3/4 cup of tarragon with our 6 tablespoons of butter, actually, and we do have as well 1 teaspoon of pepper that you see here, and
a tablespoon of cognac.
Okay. So as you can see, the butter is not pomade yet, but close to it, which is actually at room temperature when you can work it. So we're gonna do that. We are going to use it as a sunscreen for the chicken. We're going to put it on the chicken.
So we've pat the chicken dry, and we start with his back side up. So we're going to do our best to just kind of make this adhere to your chicken, and that's why it's good to be dry. We're gonna flip it over, and so I like to put the majority of it on the other side, since the bottom will melt. Just breaking the skin a little bit here away from the breast. So we want to open that up, and the reason is you're actually going to put some of this goodness, the tarragon cognac butter goodness, inside as well. So just put it in and kind of spread it around with your fingers. The butter on the top, something that Fabien taught me, was that it's the butter itself on the surface that creates this crispy golden color when you put it in the oven. So some of this will go inside the bird as well. You don't have to use a lot in there, but just for some flavor.
We need to make sure that those potatoes are very dry before frying them, otherwise it's gonna explode in your face. And hot grease in your face is not fun.
That does not sound pleasing.
we have to pat them dry quite a bit, making sure that everything's okay. We let them rest in the water for a while, cold water, to get the starch out. It's gonna make beautiful potatoes. So we're gonna fry them over the stove right there.
So now we're going to actually make the topping for the potatoes. So we want a little bit of olive oil, and then you're gonna add your rings of onions and your jalapeños.
Now we are at the carrot level. I'm going to peel them. I'm keeping a little bit of green, as you can see. I'm not keeping the entire green that you have here, but a little bit just is prettier. And then when we'll be ready, I will cut them lengthwise right there so that it cooks faster, and then we'll put all the goodness on it. All right, now
Wow.
it's time.
That's so pretty.
Yes, it's very colorful. Don't hesitate to make them close to each other because we're going to put honey, goat cheese on it, so you want to have all of them coated and covered. All right, so now let's do the honey. Okay, so now I'm going to take those carrots, beautiful ones, and I'm going to sprinkle on top of it that amazing pecans with the actual caramel, or at least sugar. And then we're gonna put it back in the oven for a little bit, just so that the sugar can melt and caramelize the entire area. All right.
Wow.
So then we're done. Yes, it looks amazing.
Looks
Smells
beautiful.
amazing too. So as you can see, I put a lot of cheese because, you know, a bite without cheese is not a good bite. So
Coming from a true French.
exactly. And now we're gonna put it back in the oven.
And the oven's turned off. We're just putting it back in to warm it up a little bit.
Yeah. There you go.
Still working on the fries over here. This is batch 1. So we had to break it up into several batches. You cook it for 5 minutes
Yep.
on the first batch, and then you let them sit for about 5 minutes, and you turn the heat up to 375, and you put them back in for about 3 minutes for that extra crisp. So that's our next step. Oh, that smells so good. Wow.
Yeah, this is amazing.
So the last step, we add 1 tablespoon of cognac on the top, baste it with the juices, and then put it back into an oven that's turned off. It's very important that you make sure your oven's turned off when you put it back in so that your cognac doesn't catch on fire. Okay, so we put the chicken back inside for 10 minutes with the oven turned off. The French fries turned out beautiful with the onions and jalapenos. Everything turned out great. What do you think, babe?
It looks amazing. It smells amazing, guys. I mean, I wish you could be here to smell this. It's fantastic. The tarragon. Wow, amazing.
With the cognac.
I just cut the meat. It smells so good.
Yeah.
Those beautiful carrots right there, and the fries are amazing.
Okay, guys.
Okay, well done.
We did it.
Yes, we did it. It's smelling amazing. I can't wait to taste. 2 things that we haven't talked about. The first thing is the ranch amazing. This is a homemade ranch. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's a homemade ranch dressing with jalapeños, cilantro. I can put the link to the recipe in below.
The second thing is the wine. So I chose to go with this beautiful chicken. We have like the earthiness of the tarragon. We have as well the earthiness of the carrots. So I chose a red, to be more precise, Saint-Émilion Grand Cru, Les Cadrans de Le Seigle, 2020, 2020 in French. Very good wine. We know it and we're a fan of that one. It's an amazing bottle that we can find here in Texas, so that we are very lucky about it.
This guy is the best at picking good wines. Before we met, I drank a lot of California wines and they're good, but the Bordeaux that he's introduced me to, the specific ones that he chooses, they really are so earthy, a little bit of fruit, not too oaky tasting.
But without further ado, let's try it.
Try.
Let's sink our teeth into this. Amazing.
All right, should we go with the chicken first?
Yeah, we should.
Looks great, babe.
Yeah.
So moist.
Oh yeah. This is amazing.
Yeah?
Honestly,
The tarragon.
Tarragon
And
is-
the cognac.
exactly. This meat is so,
oh my gosh, so juicy.
The fact that we salted it just before as
Yeah.
well gives like this perfect seasoning.
Wow.
It's amazing,
That is
honestly.
very good.
Fantastic. Let me get a little bit of carrots as well.
I can't stop eating the chicken.
I know.
Did the nuts turn out spicy? Did you
Yeah.
get one?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got one.
Because we
Yeah.
put the cayenne pepper on the pecans.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can feel it. Yes. Now I can feel it actually even more.
Wow.
You have this kind of like crunchiness that brings everything together. I love it. And it's such a pretty as well. Kind of,
Is this a gourmet meal?
It is a gourmet
It
meal.
feels like a gourmet meal. It really does. And it really didn't take that long. We did have to work together, but wow, that's so good. Well, we haven't tried the fries yet. Let's just put a little bit of this jalapeno ranch.
So already I can tell fries or spicy fries with the jalapeno on it, which is amazing. It gives like a kick. It's just fantastic.
How is it? Let me try it.
First of all, this ranch
Oh,
can
wow.
make everything good, but on top of that, those fries.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we did the fries and not the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The
Yeah.
jalapeno spicy.
Jalapenos
In a good
spicy,
way.
Told you.
Oh my god.
We kept the seeds in the jalapeno, right? I
We
think
did.
When you cut them, oh.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can take the seeds out. That way, it's not quite as spicy. If you don't like the spice, you can leave them off completely. If you don't want to change the traditional, French recipe. But wow, babe, this is amazing.
This is fantastic. And look.
Cheers.
Great job, chef. Amazing. It is
Great wine pairing.
really good. Well, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and the process of making it, also trying to bring a French dish with a kick of Texan cuisine. That's what we are trying to do and bring it, share it with you guys.
Please do make it and comment in the comments, even if you just make one or two of the items. We want to bring the French ranch dishes to your home. We'd love to share it with you, and you guys tell us what you think.
Absolutely. Take some pictures, share that with us. We'd love to see your creations as well, or even your spin. Recipes, we say all the time, is just a guideline, but it's definitely not a law.
Make it your own.
Making your own.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe, like. We're gonna make more videos. We're gonna try to find great recipes. We have a great recipe of bread, for instance, that we're gonna make soon. So yeah, tons of stuff that we want to share with you guys.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, and à bientôt.